Make sure my headphones are good. Time for our high dollar intro.
Welcome to Not Your Average Joe and Dad, and today we'll be talking about some of the adventures that we've had this year, and we're going to bring you along for the ride.
Oh, that's intense. What was it again?
Not Your Average Joe and Dad.
Oh,
My name is Joe Messina. I'm 9 years old, and sitting next to me is my dad, Justin Messina.
I'm not 9 years old. I know. Well, we've been wanting to do this for a little while. We got delayed.
Yeah.
Because Joe was too busy hunting to make time for me. And this, we listen to a lot of podcasts, don't we?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, but you do a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
How was your hunting season?
Good.
That's all you got?
I killed 2 does and 2 bucks, and the first buck was a 6-point. We got him mounted. He's on my wall in my room right now. And the second one was my biggest deer ever. It was an 8-point, and it's still at the taxidermy.
Yeah. We got some cool videos after you shot those.
Yeah.
Where you kind of lose your noodles. You remember what you did?
Yeah.
What was it?
You don't have to say it.
Which one was it? Was it your 8-point or your 6-point?
8-point. No, 6-point, because it looked a lot bigger in the scope.
I really don't remember. What'd you say?
I just went.
Oh, that's right. You did the Hulk thing. And yeah. And then you kind of fell down. That was good. Well, you had a pretty good season though.
Yeah. And next year, hopefully, I'll be in the bow stand, because for Christmas, I got a bow.
Oh yeah, you did. You got your first real bow.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go get it set up.
Yeah.
You've been shooting that. That's a lot of work though to shoot a deer with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for it?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of practice. Well, why'd you want to start a podcast?
You brought it up, and I liked it, so we did it.
Yeah. You think you got a lot of stories to tell?
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me one? What do you want to start with a doe or a buck? Tell me the whole thing.
All right.
Your favorite one of the whole year, because we actually had a long year. Mississippi, you can start hunting. Well,
Mine or yours.
both season we can start October 1st. And we have a special weekend where we can do an early velvet season. But Joe normally picks up the youth season, which is first 9th of November, somewhere around there. And he pretty much hunted all season. I didn't hunt a whole lot.
It was the only time that I didn't really hunt was the last 2 days of deer season, because I went to my grandmother and grandpa.
Yeah, you were tired. You had already had a good season. But pick one and tell me about it, what you remember, because you remember way better than I do.
Pick my favorite one of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my favorite one of the year was yours.
Which one?
Your double time.
Oh yeah, the one that had a different beam.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fun story. Tell one of yours.
Let's see.
What about your 6-point? Because
Yeah.
you saw that one first, right?
Yeah. So my 6-point, he walks out. He walks across.
Well, no, you start. You got to tell your story. You normally I see all the deer.
Yeah.
Because he's asleep in the stand, just snoring. He sleeps for hours. I'm like, hey Joe, there's a deer. And he's like, oh, okay, let me wake up and shoot it. But this particular one, I think I'd woken him up for another deer.
No, I was playing my game.
Oh yeah, I can't forget the DS.
Nintendo Switch.
Oh, my bad.
It's Nintendo Switch DS, I believe.
I have no idea. What game were you playing?
I was playing my new. No. I was
Rocket
playing Rocket League.
League.
Yeah.
I knew it.
And so I normally just play my game, and then a few minutes I'll look up and then play my game if I don't see something. And I looked up and I'm like, Dad, deer. He barely pulls up his binoculars and he's like, get on the gun, shoot it. Because he saw big enough horns. So I got up. He was about to cross.
I was yelling at him.
Yeah, you were going,
He stopped.
He stopped. And I shot him, and I guess he was barely kind of quartered to us, because it went in the shoulder and came out closer to the stomach.
A little bit, yeah. He was a little quartered too, because he was about to come in the woods at an angle.
Dropped him cold.
He was cold. We're kind of hunting a road type thing, so you don't have it's maybe 15 yards wide. So once you see him, you better be on it. What kind of gun are you shooting for a 9-year-old?
301 mag, but it does have a can on it.
Oh yeah, we always hunt with a can. What do you call it?
Thumper.
Thumper. That gun's earned its name. But we have you set up. You're not just freestanding. We have you set up in a nice tripod and I think it's a bog pod, death grip, and then you have a. I use a secondary shooting stick in the back just to keep it nice and level. So I mean, he shot deer out to what 250.
Instead of glamping, it's glunting.
Yeah, it could be. What you shot your doe last year? What 255, 253?
250, 253.
Yeah, and the gun's pretty dialed in.
And we have about like 2 other guns that we use. We haven't really used the 300 Blackout in a while, but
Yeah.
we got another gun. Dad got it shortened, and we call it Shorty. And I
Mm-hmm.
killed my
First
first
doe of that
first doe
season.
of the year this
Yeah,
year.
that's actually a Remington 700 that just a standard. I think it's a BDL, ADL, one of the ones that just has the magazine hinge plate. And that was actually Joe's uncle's and got it cut down. I like my 300 Win Mag is really kind of long. It's 24-inch barrel, and then you put a can on the end of it. So this is a Remington 700 and a 308 that I got chopped to
16
16,
inches.
16 and a quarter. Yeah, the legal length, and then had it threaded. So we can put a can on it, and it's super, super short.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the name Shorty.
Yeah, Dad's friends started calling it Shorty, and that's how it's got its name.
Yep, Shorty and Thumper, pretty good duo. But yeah, everything we do is with a can or a suppressor. It just completely changes the game for a kid or for me because he's been shooting the 300 Win Mag 3 years.
I killed my first deer with it, but you were aiming, and I just pulled the trigger.
That was when you were 5,
Yeah, 4.
4. Okay, but yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 years you've almost exclusively killed everything with Thumper.
Yeah, the second year I killed a deer with 300 Blackout. I called it Dark Knight because it was black.
Yeah,
And
that was the small one, right?
and didn't you turn that into your like defensive rifle?
It always was, yeah.
Yeah. So it was actually in a blind that we no longer have because we sold it, and we sold the land that it was on.
We didn't. Our
Oh
lease,
yeah, our
our
lease.
hunting lease has lost a good bit of land here
Yeah.
recently.
And I was the only one to ever kill a deer out of that blind.
That was a nice blind too.
Mhm.
That was a good turkey spot.
And when we were tracking the spike, I was the first one to find it.
That was your first any kind of type of. Oh, that is right. Yeah, you found the deer.
I saw a roughed up spot, and I was like, all right, somewhere around here.
You were what 5, 6,
Mhm.
and that was a hard shot. It was
Yeah.
a good shot. But back to your 6 point. So we were yelling at it,
Uh-huh.
and you got on the gun, and the boom.
And then we sat for a few minutes,
You know,
and
it dropped immediately.
yeah, but we sat for a few minutes, making sure that we were seeing if a doe would walk out.
Yeah, well, we sat because we've had that time in the past where I shot one and I thought I dropped it and actually hit it high and it jumped up and started running again. So I
Yeah.
normally like to reload and kind of stay on them and make sure they're down.
And I told him to shoot that deer that went down and then came back up
Yeah,
twice.
that's a story for a different day. But we got your 6 point down. That was your.
Fine.
Uh,
So I stayed behind Dad. He went and saw it first and filmed me walking up.
oh yeah, we have some good footage of that where you walking up on it and holding the horns for the first time and seeing it because you weren't really sure what it was. You just saw horns and I told you to shoot. It probably happened in what 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was fast.
Because
So
he was crossing and didn't care about anything.
yeah, make sure you stay in that mic now. You're moving a lot. You got that head bobbing. You got to stay in it. But yeah, I mean, we had a good season. I had a good season. I know you did. I mean,
You tagged out on bucks.
I did. Nothing crazy, but I mean, mine started in August with a.
Oh.
No, mine started in August when I pulled a public land alligator tag in Mississippi for the first time. Got a big old alligator.
Can I tell a story about the alligator?
Sure.
So he got a 6. First, you can get like one has to be below 7 and one has to be above 7 feet.
Yeah, when you pull a public land alligator tag in Mississippi, one has to be you can harvest two. One has to be below 7 feet, and one has to be over 7.
and he got like a 6.5 footer.
I think it's 6.9 or 6.10 inches. Yeah,
And then the next night, I stayed up waiting for him to get home
that was
because,
probably 3 nights. I went
oh
out
yeah.
2 or 3 nights.
So I waited up till he got home, and when he got home, he's like, "You want to come see it?" I'm like, "What?" And then when I walk out there, that thing was ginormous.
When you say wait up, I didn't get home till like 3:30 in the morning because alligator hunting, you out there all night. There's several mornings we went from 5:30 p.m. to 9 a.m. But yeah, we got a big one. I mean, I had it on a 10 foot, about 5 or 6 by 10 trailer, and it was bigger than that. It was like 11.5 feet or so.
Giving you some advice: if you kill an alligator, plug your nose because it stinks.
They do stink. Me and Joe skinned it the next day, the next morning. I had him out there washing it with you wash him with a little bit of soap and all that to get it off, and he got
And
covered
you
in.
used one of my knives.
I did. You got covered in a little bit of alligator juice while you were cleaning it for me. But I did. I used your bear tooth, your
Yep.
MKC bear tooth. That
Yeah.
was when I was fleshing it, though.
Mhm.
That's had to flesh the hide out because I was getting it tanned.
And the bear tooth is a story for another day
That is a story.
because it's a good story.
It is. That's what are some of the things you want to talk about? Not right now, but just as we do this podcast, like what are some of the stories you like to talk about?
Like some of my very first deer, and
Okay,
like
there you go.
how I like hunting, how we camp, and my bear tooth
Yeah, well
and
that
fishing.
and fishing. Yeah, I still have the biggest fish record
Yeah.
times two. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there. I mean, we've been to Montana twice in the last year and a half.
And that's where I got my bear tooth.
We camped up there. I killed a turkey up there. We camped in Texas on the way up, and we've camped in Georgia. And
Oh, and also some more advice: Lake Meredith in Texas is gorgeous.
yeah, that's a nice little spot when you're making that trek from Mississippi to Montana. You can kind of swing off and just do some camping at Lake Meredith. I actually saw some turkeys there last year when
Really?
we were pulling in. Remember, they were right there at the entrance. But yeah, so we had a pretty good season. We hunt some deer, but what do we do after you get the deer? We process it all, don't we?
Yeah.
We do all of that. What's some of the stuff that we make or I make? I say we. You help me grind some of it, but what's some of the stuff we put together that you like?
Some of my favorites are your breakfast links and your snack sausage.
Yeah, like the snack sticks.
And
Yeah,
then especially your breakfast patties.
which ones? The maple ones.
Maple, yeah.
Yeah, you like those? We go pretty. We get
Ooh,
pretty.
and the bacon.
Oh yeah, the deer bacon. Deer
Yeah.
bacon's always a hit.
Uh-huh.
We do. We get pretty not aggressive. We're pretty aggressive on
Mhm.
meat care and taking everything we can. And I mean, I have a freezer full of stuff to process. I probably have 100 pounds of grind or more down there that will end up being some summer sausage, some regular sausage, ground meat,
Sausage.
probably some link sausage, some jerky, and then I like to have maybe 50 to 100 pounds of just ground meat hanging out in the fridge.
Yeah, because whenever you're looking for a quick dinner, ground meat and shape it into a patty, pretty easy.
Well, we did some pre-made patties too that are pretty good.
Yeah. Which I shaped with my hands.
Nasty little hands. Well, so back to deer season. You shot your. Did you get a doe on opening day
Yeah.
of you season?
No, that was last year.
Okay, that was last year. You how many times did you go before you got a doe on this one?
About 3 days.
That wasn't too bad.
Mm-mm. And
Uh,
then I killed one 2 days after my first doe, and I killed 3 deer in 2 weeks.
you mainly almost had all your deer in youth season.
Yeah.
2 does and a buck, and then you shot your 8 point.
Not a few days before Christmas.
Was it?
No, was my 8 point before or after Christmas?
It was before because I killed that double time buck a few days before
Oh
Christmas.
yeah. So here's the story of the 8 point. So,
You gonna tell them all in one trip?
mhm,
Okay, go ahead.
so he pops out, he crosses, and then it takes a few minutes, but then he comes back. And we're at the same exact food plot as the 6 point. So he comes back from the left side, comes out, and the trail camera gets a picture of him like seconds before before I shoot him. So he comes out, he's walking, and he stops, and he's about to walk in the woods. He's just sitting there looking for a second. Pow! Dropped him. He was still flinching a little, and he, he just expired after a little bit.
Yeah, well, you missed the point where he kinda ran a spike around. He ran a spike off.
But
He
yeah,
was
he didn't.
I saw him earlier, and I think you were asleep, actually.
Hold on. Oh yeah.
He was
So
he was the way this field's laid out is it's pretty long. You can shoot up to 430 yards. It's kind of just a long straightaway. And so our rule has always kind of been, if it's within Joe's range, he's shooting, which basically 250 in, which is pretty good for a 9-year-old. And then if it's over that, I'm normally on the gun.
mhm.
So that deer crossed really fast. The 8-point crossed about 250 yards, and he was just moving. He was moving from left to right.
And then a few minutes later, I'm sitting there because I think that he's gonna come back out, and the spike runs off. And as soon as I see that spike run off, I get on the gun and I see him come out, and I watch him stop, and then I shoot him.
Yep, that was good. However, you had a great season, but dare we talk about the 2 that got
No,
away?
no, no,
Yes.
no,
Yeah,
no,
it's part
no,
of it.
darn it.
It's part of it. Tell me about the 2 that got away.
You can tell him about the two that got away.
Let's see, the first one.
Was one that I was after, and it had 4 on one side and 1 on the other.
Yep, this was a hard lesson for old Joseph right here.
Mm.
This deer came out. Now, granted, it was getting pretty dark. It was still well within shooting light, and I normally don't let him shoot too late at night. I
It was
say too late, when it gets too dark, all within legal shooting light, but,
it was about 5:10.
yeah, it was early in the season, so 5:10 wasn't as dark as it was late in the season. But this deer comes out, and I'm telling Joe, I'm like, "Wait, wait, wait." The deer was about 140 yards, and he looked at me and goes, "It's got horns." Or he looked at me and said, "It's a buck." I said, "I know, wait, son." And I'm telling him, "Wait, wait, wait." And 'cause the deer was extremely hard quartered too. I mean, he was almost looking at us, and I was like, "Wait, wait, he needs to be broadside." I kept saying,
I
"Wait."
thought he was broadside.
He thought he was broadside, but he went completely buck fever, wasn't listening to me, and as I kept saying, "Wait," next thing I know, I hear a boom. You know, as big of a boom as you have with a suppressed rifle, right? And I knew he missed that deer because the deer actually had his head down. He was hard quartered too. I mean, he was almost looking straight at us. And I was like, "Son, I don't know if you hit him. The deer ran away way too easy." I was like, "We're gonna find out." The issue was we had a massive storm coming,
Yeah. Mhm.
and we were on limited time before the bottom fell out. So we're down there, and by the time we get out of the stand to go look,
It's pouring.
it's raining, and I may have had shorts on. It was early season.
You
I
did.
think I did. I think I had shorts on,
I had a short sleeve shirt on too.
and you know, it's dark and looking for blood or looking for any sign that this deer was hit. I didn't think he was, and
We didn't find any blood, any
didn't find
track.
any hair, didn't find any blood, didn't find any tracks, didn't the deer basically just ran straight, so there wasn't like a big turn or any kind of stuff in the dirt you could look for. But out there digging through the woods in the dark with flashlights, of course, but pouring down rain. And then the temperature actually started to drop. So I'm cold, it's raining. Didn't find anything. I even came back the next day and looked a little bit, and there was nothing. But he learned a hard lesson that day. And can you remember it?
Yes.
What?
Wait, when you say wait, make sure
Shoot
it's
when
broadside.
shoot when I say shoot. Don't shoot before. Don't shoot after. And never shoot. You know, wait for the right shot. I mean, the deer wasn't spooked. The deer wasn't trying to run away. It was just hanging out. So it wasn't like we were pressed. And so that was the one that got away. It was one Joe really wanted to shoot. Had 4 on one side and then just one sticking straight up. It didn't have a matched set of antlers, and he was
You better watch out next year.
I know. But that was one, and I thought maybe Joe had learned his lessons. And fast forward a couple weeks, and we're actually on a gas line this time, and, this was a sure enough nice deer. This was a deer I wanted to shoot.
Is it so I'll tell the story, cause
Okay.
so I was playing my game, I looked up, and this is also a pretty far range.
Yeah, this one goes out to about 300.
So there's a trail at the very end that deer walk on, and whenever you see the sides get really dark, that's when you know that there's a deer right there. So I saw the side get dark. I get on the gun. I kind of look real quick. I'm like, Dad, get on the gun, because it was too far for me to shoot, and it was a nice deer. So I told Dad, get on the gun. He's like, Are you sure you want me to shoot it? I'm like, Yes. And then I'm like, If he gets closer, let me get on the gun.
Well, and so I was in the binoculars watching this thing, and I was like, man, this is a good deer. This would have been the biggest deer he's ever shot for sure. It was bigger than the 8 point he shot. I mean, we had a deer that we kind of watched a little bit. We called a Porky.
Hmm.
I don't think this was him, but the deer just was gorgeous. And he closed from 300 and just slowly walked down this planted gas line to about 140. And again, it was
He was giving us a better shot than the last one, though.
he was walking straight at us. And again, it was getting kind of dark. You know, of course, they like to move in the dark and all that. You remember what you call that when they move in the morning in the dark?
Crepuscular, and I learned that from Stephen Ranella.
That's right. But so I'm watching this deer, and he's slowly coming in, looking at us, and it's gorgeous. I mean, this thing was beautiful. I would have shot him, and he closed in to about 140, and he kind of started turning and slowly coming in, and I get Joe on the gun. And he was like, "You shoot, you shoot." I'm like, "No, you shoot." And kind of the same thing. The deer, the deer wasn't spooked. The deer was just taking his time. He was cruising in, and Joe shot before I told him to, and the deer was hard quartered.
He wasn't hardcore.
He wasn't
He was
hard quartered. He was not anywhere near broadside. He was definitely quartered to us because he was closing coming in at an angle, and he was kind of walking across the gas line a little bit. But he was not broadside.
He was walking towards the woods.
He wasn't spooked or anything like that. And Joe just shot a little early. I thought he hammered because the deer acted like he was hit. He spun around in a big circle and made a huge loop where he was kind of stumbling backwards.
He's a good actor.
And then he blew out into the woods. And I said, man, I said, Joe, I think you hammered that one. And I thought it was a perfect shot. I thought everything in me said it was perfect.
And also never do a high five before you shoot.
Yeah, we did a high five and a little video talking about what he shot. And so we get down there and start looking, and we could see where the deer turned. And
because he made a hard turn.
He did. He made a really he did a 180, kind of falling over backwards. No blood, no hair, no nothing. And I'm walking all around trying to find this deer.
And where he was, we smelled nothing but deer.
We smelled deer, but zero sign of deer.
And the next day we brought up.
I'm not finished. Calm down. So I'm thinking this is one of those walk in the woods 20, 30 yards. There he is.
Like Dad's double time was.
Yeah, to celebrate, right? It did not work that way. I didn't find one trace of deer, or an injured deer or a wounded deer. And we probably looked for an hour, hour and a half or so, nothing. And so it was getting a little late, so we went home, and I actually started texting back and forth with a guy that has some tracking dogs that are really good. He's done some incredible finds for us in the past. And he was like, man, we can check it out. So I go back out the next morning and meet him out there. And he's got 3 dogs that can find anything. They found stuff on 48-hour-old tracks.
They found stuff without even blood.
Yeah,
or hair.
They're just really good. And they came out there and they kind of got on the trail for a minute, but nothing. We all agree that deer was not hit, but the bullet probably came pretty close and just scared him really bad. And he was putting off some of that scent as he was running away. But that deer lived, and that was.
Watch out next year, buddy.
I know if that deer does make it, that'll be a really good one. That was a nice deer.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was 2 hard lessons. I mean, he had a great season, but he learned a little bit.
And the deer that we did shoot, and then they ran away, and we killed them, no blood. So next year we are changing bullets.
We are. Well, we are changing bullets. They were completely effective on everything, but not the best blood trail. We'll save that one for another day.
Yeah.
Another story, another day. So what are a couple of things you're looking forward to coming up?
Bow season, if we can get me in a bow stand. And
Well, you have things way before bow season, boy.
I know I was just saying that squirrel season definitely,
We got a month left to go chase some tree rats.
and definitely turkey.
That's
That's
what
a story for another day, Dad.
that is a good one. But that's my almost. I think that's my favorite time of year, turkey time,
Yeah.
and it's about that time.
And I still haven't gotten me. There's three things that I really want to kill that I haven't killed yet: a turkey, a squirrel, and a bobcat.
You've been with me on bobcats, but you never shot one.
No.
Well, the last one we shot, what did we do with it?
Oh, we made some
Bobcat tostadas.
without mom.
Yeah, we I smoked them a little bit and then braised them for a long time and made some taco meat out of it and did bobcat tostadas. It was really good. So
And mom really missed out.
I think everybody missed out if they don't eat any bobcats, you know. So yeah, I don't know. We're probably try to do these every couple weeks, every 2 weeks or so. Maybe as a ideally the plan was during deer season we were going to do one a week and kind of talk about what happened that week,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen.
Yeah, that kind of got junk.
Yeah, it got junked. Joe's got a pretty busy schedule. He wasn't able to fit me in.
Yeah, and I also am gonna have a pretty busy schedule because then we got squirrel, turkey, and then baseball.
Yeah, squirrel, turkeys, and baseball. And squirrels are only for a few more weeks,
I know.
but we got definitely turkeys. Got some trips planned for turkeys.
Yeah,
Got baseball, which is a big one.
we
And
almost forgot to sign me up.
nah, the big maybe on our next one though. I'm heading out to the Western Hunt Expo
Oh yeah.
in Utah, and so maybe on our next one we'll be able to talk about that. That'll be my first time ever going to that,
Mm.
and this should be a good time. I fly out next Thursday, the 13th. I think it's Thursday the 13th.
And he's leaving me here at home.
I am. I am.
I don't have to worry though because I'm going to the beach.
Oh, yeah, I am not.
He
Uh,
hates the
I
beach.
do hate the beach, but I do love Western Hunt Expo, and I've never been. So yeah, hopefully we'll do these a little bit, keep them going. He's pretty interesting little fella.
Oh, and also make sure you get me an autograph by Remy if he's there.
If I talk to Remy, I'll try to get you one. But
Alright.
as always, I think we're probably going to wrap it up. We have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea how to do this, but we're having fun with it. But we're going to have an Instagram page.
Seriously?
I already have one of those for this.
Huh.
Have no idea on all the other stuff, but yeah, if you do like this, what do they say? You got to like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Oh, that's right. I like that. Where'd you learn that?
YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to do any video on YouTube or not. We're recording it, but that's a whole nother level of stuff. Right
Yeah.
now, we're doing the best we can to get audio in here. But yeah, follow those. We'll try to do some fun stuff. Me and Joe are pretty active. I say active. We're always out in the woods. We're always messing with deer meat or making something or playing guitar or something. So we'll try to post some stuff on there as well. And if you have any questions, let us know. But again, what do they need to do?
Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
That's right. Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you remember a joke?
How do you get a cow? What do you get when you chop a cow's leg off?
I have no idea.
Ground beef.
No, that's not how that goes.
Oh wait, how do you do it?
It's what do you call a cow with no legs?
Oh yeah, ground beef.
Boom. We appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all have a good one.
See ya.